Hi, my name is Emily. Welcome to my flower show garden. I have a great show planned for you today. So join me at the Providence Flower Show as we welcome spring with visions of nature's beauty from sculptured sand to tranquil water gardens. See you in a minute. I'm with Steve Topazio of Tiverton, Rhode Island, and he has a fabulous company called Santasia.
Yes.
You have to tell the folks all about this because this has been the highlight of the show. We took some footage earlier when you were just beginning, and it has evolved to this masterpiece.
We're calling it performing art, and this is around 20 tons of sand. And what we do is we bring the sand in, we compact it in forms, and we have a general theme of what we're going to do.
I was told that you spray it with something so that it lasts longer, and you can do this indoors. Like if you had a mind to, you could actually bring this indoors.
Stop the process from drying is we spray it down with an Elmer's glue and water mix, which is about a 9-to-1 mix. And we just spray it on there with a sprayer, and we spray it where we're not going to carve anymore, because this way, you know, it's preserved. And if you repeated that process, whether it would be inside, even outside, it would stay. This thing would stay up. The record for one of these staying up is about 11 years, and that process was repeated by a Girl Scout troop out on the West Coast. And unfortunately, the only thing that knocked that down was an earthquake. Vibration is the worst enemy to these things.
You don't want to be shaking around your sculptures.
No. We had to start carving here after all the little trucks were out of here because the floor was moving.
How did you get started with this?
Got started in it by accident about 6 years ago. It was an amateur contest, and I won. And I wanted to know how to do it right. And I went on the internet and found out that, you know, there's master sand sculptors out there that do it for a living. I searched them out, and fortunately there was 2 in New England. And I found out where they, I got in contact with them, and I said, teach me how to do this. And both the gentlemen, they took me under their wing, and they kind of saw the natural talent I had. I do have an art degree, but it's not in sculpting. And one thing led to another, and within 3 years I was competing on a professional level with the help of these gentlemen.
Now, do you do the same? I noticed that you've had artists come in and out throughout the show. I mean, you've worked very diligently on it. It's almost done. It's beautiful. The show's almost done, so it's very timely.
We all have day jobs right at this point, but and again, this has always been just fun for us.
I think you could quit your day job. This is Don Girola of Newport, Rhode Island, and he's one of the artists here. You see, the theme at this flower show is artistic impressions. Thank you so much for showing me some of your artwork. It's fabulous.
This was like a gift of the universe to be invited into the show.
It's great fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
What I wanted you to do, because I know that you do a lot of this work and you put it into gardens, and you're an artist across the board. Could you explain some of these pieces?
Exquisite, permanent pieces in the garden. So that's what we've done.
They
we
really
took
are
models
beautiful.
and turned them into garden sculpture.
You have a small one here.
I do.
You showed to a child yesterday. I want you to see this one. It's very simple compared to these.
Compared to the other ones, this is where my artist's soul really lies. And this piece is about 30 feet high. It's almost finished. It's probably going to get loaned to either the city of Providence or Newport. And
beautiful.
The bottom of it looks like the screw on a submarine. It's 15 feet from here to here. You can just about walk under here.
How great is that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And from the ground to the top, it's 30 feet high. And the thing goes absolutely crazy. My background was in physics and engineering, and this thing will like spin around real fast, and just in the flash of a second, slam, stop, spin this way, spin that way, go slowly this way, and then really spin again. And that's what we have in the show, a lot of wonderful kinetic pieces.
It's absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for letting me come over and just disturb you for a little bit. A lot of folks walking around this place, and Don's here if you'd like to speak with him, and I don't want to take up any more of your time.
Thank you. An amazing show, a lot of amazing talent, great landscapers here, great sculptors. Come next year.
Thank you very much. We're going to move on and see some more folks.
Thank you.
Walking in the sunshine, sing a little sunshine song.
This is Michelle Souza of Metamorphosis Design. We actually hooked up, 17 years ago at Sylvan Nursery at Farmers Village. Shelley has moved on, and you've just done some wonderful things. I'm so proud of you as a friend.
Thank you.
Really,
Actually,
and a designer.
Actually, Emily is my mentor.
This exhibit is fabulous.
Thank you.
Shelley does the entrance exhibit every year for the Rhode Island Spring and Flower Garden Show. Event design is another occupation that a designer might look to. The garden that you've done here, it's fabulous. If anybody wanted to get one of these, could they contact you?
Absolutely. shellsgarden.com.
Okay, michellesgarden.com. I'm with Pat Beck of Ecotope in Providence, Rhode Island, and he's done a fabulous garden here. This is a cloister garden.
We are landscape architects and artisans, and for the show here we wanted to create the sense of a medieval monastery cloister garden.
It's beautiful.
Well, anything cloistered means hidden. The monks would often retreat from common society, from the chaos of a daily world, and lived in a scholarly group that focused on mental learning and spiritual learning. As such, they needed to create their own medicines and foods for the garden. And here we can see an example of a 11th century pharmacy garden with the medicinal herbs and perennials.
Now, just the other day, Brother Pat gave us a little bit of a lecture on sacred beer, was it?
In many of the monasteries, they needed to create something for cash crop for sales. Sometimes brandy, sometimes fruit preserves, and sometimes the beer. And even today, you can find the Belgian beers from some of the abbeys that have been produced since the 10th and 11th century.
We're at the Providence Convention Center. This is Pat Beck, and I'll tell you, you did a great job.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Emily.
I'm with Joe Medeiros now from North Smithfield. Medeiros Design, is that correct?
That's correct.
You have a fabulous garden here. I can't even believe that you did this. This is incredible, absolutely incredible.
I wanted water, and I wanted fountains, and I wanted columns, and I sat down and this is what I came up with. We rented a warehouse, and it took us 2.5 months with 4 to 5 people every day to build this. And then we shipped it here and put it together in 2.5 days here.
It's certainly a credit to your work, I'll tell you that. Thank you for letting me interview you. I'm going to move along. See you in a minute. Don Girola. Am I saying it right?
Pretty little.
Did you just do bunny ears on my head?
Yeah, right, sure.
We'll wait for the announcement to end.
I feel like a giant.
Well, funny you should ask that, Emily. For the show, we decided to create a Cistercian abbey garden, a cloister garden. Any sort of, the abbeys, the monastery, the monks lived in.
Have you started? Now, just the other day, Brother Pat gave us a little bit of a lecture on sacred beer, was it?
Yes, Brother Abdullah. In many of the monasteries, they needed to create something for cash crop for sales. Sometimes brandy, sometimes fruit preserves, and sometimes the beer. And even today, you can find the Belgian beers from some of the abbeys that have been produced since the 10th and 11th century.
That's very interesting. It really is.
Would you like to try some double Bach?
You know I would.
Thanks, Emily.
Cut. Good job.
Is that all right?
That was perfect.
Oh man, that was fun.
Okay.
I felt like I was on the QVC channel.
Kinda.
Oh, you know.
Look,
Are
yeah.
you saying it chops tomatoes, Tim?
So here we are in the garden with
Here
Julio.
Here we are with Julio. Now, I got to ask you a couple of questions before we get going. Basically, how are you? No.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up.
We part until we meet again. See you next time here in Emily's garden.